What is up, my lovely people? I do hope you're well on this sunny day in the UK. I cannot believe it, the sun is finally here. Today we're going to be tackling some more entitled parents. If you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe button, and maybe even notification bell, and let's get you straight into this. Entitled girl nearly gets me charged with rape over my jacket. Hey there, I posted recently about another incident between myself and entitled parents while discussing it with a buddy earlier. I realised I had another story to share. So to explain, I was given for my birthday a Wrangler brand jean jacket, and upon getting this jacket I took it upon myself to start hand sewing patches onto the jacket that I was gifted or had collected myself. This included a few video game patches, firearms company patches, Ruger, Remington, Federal, etc, and quite a few racing patches. I enjoy racing cars and have a number of patches for brands I support, or I purchase parts from including Summit, Turbo Blue, Holly, etc. Now a jacket in the condition it's in now is not cheap. To actually recreate it is probably a good couple of $100 because the number of patches are older / rare and hard to get your hands on anymore. So obviously I wear this jacket everywhere and make sure all of the patches are tightly stitched onto the fabric to prevent theft, loss, etc. I will use a seam ripper to remove velcro from removable patches, just so I can sew them right to the jacket. So as usual, I slip my jacket on and got out to get lunch after class. I wear my jacket everywhere, just about every day on campus, and especially when I race, even as my handle, Smokey, stitched into it, as this is what the people I race with call me. So parking my daily in the McDonald's parking lot, I hopped out, locked my truck and pocketed my keys. Entering the building, I noticed a few families, but didn't pay any mind to them. I just walked to the counter, waited for the mother and her daughter, who couldn't have been any older than 16 or so, to finish their order. When they were done, I requested 2 cheeseburgers and a Coke for there at the restaurant. As I was getting my drink, the mother walked up to me and started asking me about the patches. I'm used to this, as a number are local brands, and those that aren't, people question why I wear them, and I proudly explained my reasoning. This is how the conversation went. EM entitled mum, me, EB entitled brat. You have such a lovely jacket. Could you please tell me what racing fuel patch is for? Of course, it's racing fuel I use for my car. I'm a small time racer here locally and I support their brand for making a wonderful product. You can't be a racer, you're too fat. To put it bluntly, I'm not the thinnest person in the world. I'm broadly built and I carry a bit of a gut I'm not entirely proud of. Anyone can be anything if they put their mind to it. I smiled at this young woman, and it seemed to end the brief conversation, so I walked to the counter and collected my food and sat down to eat. I figured this would be the end of the conversation and encounter. I wish I learned from reading this subreddit. As I was finishing up my second sandwich and started to throw the trash away, I felt something pull on my jacket. I didn't really think anything about it until I noticed that the sharp tugging changed into a jerking motion, like someone was trying to pull the jacket off me. Turning round, I noticed that a young woman was trying to get my attention, tugging on the hem of my jacket. "Can I help you? Could I try on your jacket, please?" "I'm sorry, no. I'd rather not take it off. It has sentimental value." "Please, just for a minute. What's the harm? I'll give you a kiss if you do." "Again, I'd really rather not. While your offer is sweet, I have to get back to campus for my classes. And like I said, this jacket is very special to me." From here things got odd, as things went from normal to the girl screaming "rape" right in the middle of this dinky McDonald's, and suddenly all eyes are on me and this girl. The mother of course is already dialing 911, as the girl keeps saying stuff about how I tried to molest her and was trying to rape her. All while I'm backing away from her. I said I didn't even touch her, and I guess the mother figured now was a good time to amp the lies up. "If you didn't touch her, why'd you take her boyfriend's jacket, pervert?" "What the hell are you talking about? I walked in here wearing this jacket." "No you didn't. Her boyfriend gave her that jacket. She wouldn't take it off for anyone. Now you're trying to steal it from her too." And then the manager comes out, hearing the claims of rape. Suddenly I'm being detained until en route officers sort out this mess, and the mother is still screaming into the phone with the operator, and her daughter is now bawling about how I groped her. Honestly, writing this, I'm so freaking angry at this point, how there's basically no evidence yet. I have to remain to keep things from looking worse than they already do. So the cops arrive, and of course, still the same story from before. He stole her jacket and then started trying to rape her. And the minute the word rape showed up, I was in cuffs, and oddly enough, the coat was removed. The cop then walked me out to her cruiser to get my information and figure out the full story, having taken the mother and daughter's statements already. PO, police officer. "Sir, do you have any ID on you today?" "Yes ma'am, it's in my wallet in my front pocket." "And can you please explain to me what happened on your side?" "Yes ma'am, I came to have lunch. I spoke shortly with the girl's mother about my jacket and the patches. Afterwards, the daughter asked to try on my jacket. When I told her no, she ended up screaming rape, and the mother started saying I stolen the jacket. Sir, can you prove this jacket belongs to you? Here I was a little worried. Jacket is only branded with my racing title Smokey and not my legal name, but I remembered about that point that yes, I did have a way to prove it. Yes ma'am, please would you take out my wallet? As the officer pulled out my wallet, I directed her attention to the stitching I'd done on it, which also had my racing title on it in bright orange matching the 3 or 4 places on my patches and the jacket that said the same. In the end, the mother and daughter were charged with inciting panic and falsifying a police report. I did get off scot-free, though I was warned in future to have my name stitched into articles of clothing that might enter the issue again. After this, I stitched my name in underneath a velcro patch to make sure you could always know it was mine without someone directly seeing it. Only I knew, so someone couldn't pull out the thread and try and remove my name from the coat. I apologise for the length and rather anticlimactic end. This was luckily a less crazy situation and tried to keep it as short as I could. Hope this is a learning lesson for anyone to put your name in things that are important to you. Oh my word. just like in the middle of a restaurant, they just spoke like a couple of minutes and this person's already screaming rape. How could you? What crosses their mind? And the mother to immediately like believe them. Did the mother incite that daughter to go up to them and start talking to them about the jacket to try and get it for free? The fuck? No, your gifted second grader isn't going to skip the line. I have no problems with children. I have no problem with parents. I do, however, have problems with parents who think their kids hung the moon and they deserve special treatment. Small background, I'm volunteering at the World Championship Robotics Tournament this week. A couple of days are for elementary/middle and a couple are for high school/college. So currently we're in the elementary/middle set of kids. Me, who is currently volunteering at the volunteer sign-in/volunteer help booth. Hi, can I help you? Yeah, how do I get an inspection pass? Note, an inspection pass lets a team jump to the front of the line to get their robot to the judges, so they don't have to spend almost 45 minutes waiting in line. Either someone from your child's team has to volunteer, or a parent has to volunteer, and then we'll mark that down, you completed volunteer time, and your team will get a pass afterwards. Can I just say I volunteered and get one? No. It's specifically for teams with volunteers. It's an incentive to help out. Well, my son's won the regionals in Texas. He's incredibly gifted. Mom, I understand, but every team has won regionals in their area. It's a world championship. Every team here is incredibly gifted. So you're telling me my son isn't special? I didn't say that. I said that everyone here is talented, and I can't give every team an inspection pass just because they're gifted. It would defeat the purpose of the pass. Mum then sees the head volunteer director, Janet. Hi, yeah, she's not giving me an inspection pass. Janet says, did you or someone from your team volunteer? No. Then no, I can't give you one, I'm sorry. Wow, how rude. I thought you were supposed to have southern hospitality. I'm from Michigan. Have a good day, Mum. Dude, your second grader did not hang the moon and stars. Your second grader did not cure cancer. Your second grader and their team built a robot from a set kit, sort of like a Lego build set, and had a teacher help out with the electronic part of it. Chill out. Angry EM in the emergency room. So a little backstory, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer last year and had a full thyroidectomy. Basically, I had my entire thyroid taken out. One of the complications is calcium deficiency, aka hypocalcemia, which I ended up having. Basically, I have to take calcium pills every day, and sometimes if my levels get too low, I have to go to hospital to get calcium through an IV. After my surgery, I had to stay an extra 4 days, get transferred to ICU and hooked up to a heart monitor, so that should tell you how bad it can get. I was getting off work and not feeling my best. The biggest symptom I look out for is intense tingling in my hands, feet and face. Sometimes I feel very little and pay it no mind, because it usually goes away, but this tingling was intense. I knew it was trouble, so I made my way to ER after a doctor advised me to. By the time I got there, I was very disorientated and dizzy. I stumbled into ER and was told to wait as someone was already checking in. There at check-in was entitled mother and a little boy. They finished and went to sit down. As they passed me, the boy smiled at me and I smiled back. The mum was more focused on going to sit down. No big deal. So I checked in, got my hospital bracelet and sat down to wait. The waiting room only had about 7 people in it, including me, so I know I wouldn't be waiting too long. I got called into triage after EM and her son. I told them what was wrong with me and they took vitals. Then I was sent back into the waiting room to wait for a bed. I'm guessing that was the deciding point on who was next, because I was called back at about 10 minutes later. The sweet male nurse even put his arm around me when he noticed how wobbly I was. He did offer me a wheelchair, but I declined. He started to lead me away when I heard a loud, "What the hell?" I looked over to see EM marching over to us. Now I was really out of it, so I don't remember this word for word, so I give the gist of everything. She stormed over to us demanding to know exactly where I was going in first when her son was very, very sick. She pointed to her son who, along with the rest of the waiting room, was watching a helicopter land outside. I found out later they were transferring a patient to UCLA Medical, if you were curious. He was in complete awe and yelling about how cool it was. Yeah, he was totally worse than me. The nurse shook his head and started to lead me off. The EM blocked his way and insisted I go sit back down so her poor baby can get treated, continuing to rant that I looked fine and was obviously faking. The receptionist stood up and firmly told her to sit down. The EM protested but ended up going back to sit. Now the ER had a few private rooms, and right outside the halls are more beds. You'll know why this is important in a bit. I was led into a private room, and a few minutes later I was in a hospital gown and getting blood drawn to check my calcium levels. As I waited for the results, I relaxed in my bed. Who else loves the warm blankets they give you? And just watched Netflix on my phone. I heard the nurse directing someone to the bed in the hall right outside my room. Guess who it was? I was watching a funny movie, so I was giggling a lot. The EM, however, took this as proof that I was faking my illness. She started calling me a liar and how disgusted she was that I would stoop so low to get attention. She was being very sneaky and taunting me only when there was no staff around. She wasn't worth a second of my time, so I ignored her and continued to watch Netflix. From reading all these stories, I'm surprised they didn't yank the phone away, declaring her son needed it more than me. Lol. While I waited for the doctor. The whole time, the EM just glared at me like I was a demon. The doctor came in, very concerned, and told me that he was admitting me right away, and the nurse would be in a bit to take me to my room. My calcium was 7.8, and it should have been between 9 and 10. As they wheeled me out, I saw EM being given discharge papers. Her son just had a nasty cough from a cold. I gave her the best smug look I could and said, "Still think I'm faking it, you hag?" I waved and was wheeled away from her too fast for her to respond. My mum came and I got settled upstairs and told her everything about EM, including what I said to her. We had a huge laugh about it, and I ended up staying in hospital for 3 days. Her son was no problem at all, considering he was completely oblivious to it. I hope he grows up to be a good person, unlike his hag mum. To end this on a good note, I just passed 7 months cancer free, so yay, and well done you. Man, I'm glad you got cancer free. And I'm glad you got you called her a hag and then got wheeled away quickly. My sister's funeral was ruined by some bitch and her kids. Well shit, I'm guessing you guys need background. My sister, we'll call her E, she got killed by a drunk driver about a month ago. And this really hurt, not only because she's my sister, but we were best friends. She always had my back and I had hers. She was 20, so she was getting into the fun part of life. About to graduate college, everything was fucking great. So the funeral was hard at the start. I was a bearer, which for those who don't know, they help carry the casket. When the priest opened it up at first and let us look, that's when I started crying, and I never stopped. Almost halfway through, I hear the doors slam open in the back. There's this woman and 3 kids that walk in. The woman is talking, in reality is close to screaming, into her phone. Of course, after 2 minutes, the kids are running around and being loud. This is getting on everyone's nerves, so my mum asked the priest to get them out. The priest is a timid guy, so of course, he couldn't get himself to do it, so he paid just someone from the looks of it. So while we wait for this family to get out, we have to stop. I was really pissed at this damn mum, and I was about to murder her, when my mum gets up and storms over to the bitch. She grabs her phone and slams it on the ground. The entitled bitch starts freaking out like her kid just died. She's screaming at my mum, who's just standing there in rage. When the bitch is done, she starts screaming about how, "You clearly are important enough to ruin my daughter's funeral, then you can get the fuck out and get yourself a damn new phone." I was a mixture of shocked and impressed. Shocked because I'd never seen my mum that mad, not even in hospital. Impressed because she did nothing more physical than point a finger. I would have snapped her neck. The bitch of course defended herself, saying that how could she know it's a funeral? Look around, bitch. Why is there casket, tears, a priest? The fucking nerve on some people that do shit like that. She started mocking my mum, getting her things, and on the way out called us horrible people for ruining her afternoon. This enraged me. I ran after her, and after I screamed out to the entitled bastard, I started screaming and following. "You fucking slut." I don't know why slut. I was just mad. "Your afternoon is ruined." "Oh no, what will we do? What will we do with the poor bastard having a nice afternoon?" She cuts me off and says, "Actually, you people ruined my afternoon." This killed me, and I got the most mad I've ever been. "You came in here with your damn kids and ruined my fucking sister's funeral. Keep in mind it's not my aunt, it's my fucking sister, and you fucking ruined her funeral. So your day is ruined," I mock cry. "Well, go have your damn pity party somewhere else, jackass." At this point I'm out of breath and I'm death staring at her. Well, maybe if you weren't here in my space. I couldn't take her anymore, so I punch her in the gut. It wasn't too hard, not enough to really hurt her, but enough for her to feel it. So of course she screams Bloody Mary. I turn around and walk inside and she screams the usual. "I've been assaulted, call 911 bullshit." After that, I never saw her again. She probably didn't call the cops because she knew she was in the wrong. In the end, we finally got my sister buried and we lived on. I definitely miss her, and I'm proud of myself for standing up in her name. Every once in a while, I stop in her room and I have a one-way conversation with her, and it's comforting. This all was ridiculous, I know, but I just can't believe someone would have the guts to do that. It really slaughters my faith in humanity. Anyway, thanks for reading this. Hope you realise what an absolute shitbags these people are. Wow, man. I'm sorry that you lost your sister. That's got to be absolutely heart-wrenching, especially to a drink driver. Sorry to hear that. But EP coming in and ruining your sister's funeral. I'm glad you did what you did and gave her a little cheeky jab in the gut. Fair play to you. You should be proud of you. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this little episode of Entitled Parents. If you did, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe button, and maybe even that notification bell. Thank you. Take care now. Goodbye.